Okay, Rangers fans, breathe. It's okay. A deep breath on an off day. It feels like we've been holding our breath for how long for this to happen? It's happening. Breathe. We're back to talk about it on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Yeah, even in a climate-controlled stadium, the Rangers have turned up the heat, which is pretty appropriate this time of year in Texas. Hi there, and welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. John Radigan, Abby Jones here. We've got Ryan Vaughters with us again. Good-looking thumbnail, we call it, that beginning graphic with flames all over it. And we're going to get to these now red-hot Texas Rangers momentarily, but we start with great news for you. Patience pays. You've been waiting to decide, should I become a diehard or not? Well, now you have to. $36, people. $36. The sale is back on. Training camp special for 2025. $36 means $3 a month for all the great content that we provide, all the great things you get by being a diehard, including 20% off any of our events. And, of course, our biggest event coming is that trip to Las Vegas. So 20% is a significant savings on that, baby. So anyway, become a diehard. Just you can. We're going to show you a QR code a little later, or go to alldlls.com/join and become a diehard for just $3 per month.
Per month.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Now, what also is a good deal is sweeping the Athletics the way that the Rangers did, taking 2 of 3 from the Tigers the way that the Rangers did, taking 2 of 3 from the Astros the way that the Rangers did. Abs, I said breathe because it feels like we've all been holding our breath, right? It just feels like, and what was going to happen at the trade deadline. And none of these things are officially decided yet, but at least on this off day, I think we can breathe.
Yeah, you got to feel good about where the Rangers are to start the second half of the season. The game ebbs and flows. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. You just can't ride the high highs too high or the low lows too low. There are some, pieces of the puzzle that the Rangers do need to address. We're going to get into that. But you've got to feel good about where things are right now. Some good news today that we're going to get into. You hope it's good news.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to feel good about how this homestand is starting out.
Yeah, it started out well, and really, we mentioned it last night on our post-game edition of the DLLS Rangers podcast, and we were talking about, when did this all start? When did they begin to get this going? It really did start on June the 7th. Since that date, Abs, this team has been 24-15. That's 8 games over 500. If you do that every 40 games, I mean, that's 39. If you do 8 over every 40 games, yeah, you've got a pretty good season going. So they did begin to turn it around on June the 7th, and they've really taken it to a better level and a new level here lately. They're 3 games over 500 at 53-50, and that's the first time they've been there since May the 17th. The wheels really shot off in May, and thank goodness they're back on.
Right, and you just hope that they hold on to it. Also, I took a look at your stats since June 27th. The Rangers are hitting .246, so I'll take that.
It's okay. Yeah, .250 team batting average in that time is not bad at all. They have 5 series sweeps. We mentioned this on the show last night. All of those series sweeps are at home. And that's not that surprising, and it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But only one of the other 5 has come in that window since June 7th, and that other one was a Chicago White Sox sweep that they were able to manage sometime later in June. But the reality is, even in the start to the season, they actually had a couple of those sweeps in the month of April.
Mm-hmm.
When they were going well, Tampa Bay being one of the teams that they were able to sweep. So really nice to have gotten back into the business of sweeping teams, and really nice to see that the way that the Rangers have done it, Abby, is so varied, right? And it doesn't require or have an absence of offense.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so many games that they were even winning earlier in the season, but there was no offense. Okay, so if you just look at a couple of the games here recently, you go, oh gosh, last night 2-1, the Rangers only had 4 hits. They didn't get any offense. Yeah, you know what? They didn't. But the other 2 games, they won 6-2 and 4-1, and they got plenty of offense. They padded their lead late in the game. They did the things that good teams do. The other 2 games, we mentioned it. One of the games, they got almost nothing from Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and Adolis Garcia. The other game, they accounted for all 6.
For all 3.
Yeah, they accounted for all 6 of the RBIs, right? So when you're sharing the offensive load that way, when you're, playing that sort of team, a connected team game, those are the kinds of things that allow you to breathe, right? Allow you to just take a deep breath and say, okay, I think it's beginning to click.
Right.
Fortunately, there's still a couple of months left, a little more than 2 months left in the regular season.
Yeah, tons of baseball to be played. I think the thing that's interesting is that when the Rangers won in 2023, there was a formula to their success. The starting pitcher had to go 6 innings. Had to. And then their offense had to score 4 runs. And then you were hoping that the bullpen pulled through. And it's almost like...
it didn't. More times than not, it did
not. So if you didn't have those 3 things, it's almost like the Rangers couldn't pull off a win. And, I think now the fact that they are winning in different ways is fantastic. You don't want to be predictable as a baseball team. The trend, the first half, was if they don't score 4 runs, they don't win games. Now I know it's early and there's only been a few games in the second half, but right now there is no formula. And that's a good thing. There's method to the madness, but it's unpredictable. That keeps other teams on their toes.
Yeah, and their runs per game average is up over 5 during this stretch, right? And it was 3.3. I mean, they were not getting to 4 runs a game, and that's why at one point in the season they were 6 games under 500. The formula this year is a little bit different. You're not necessarily going to get automatic 6 out of everybody. You wish you could,
but you will get good pitching.
But you've got an unbelievable pitching, and you've got an unbelievable bullpen from guys that none of them were here last year. None of them, right? And look, you've gotten 6 from plenty, and you'll continue to. But the reality is, with guys coming back off of injuries and guys like Rocker and Leiter, who have not ever had a big workload here at the major league level, you have to manage them a little bit differently than those guys that they were managing, back Rock. Even as recently as 2023. So this is all good. In fact, along those lines, the Rangers have now tied a team record by allowing 2 or fewer runs in 7 straight games. The only time they did that was back in 1983, which was also the last time they had an ERA better than they have now. And they've allowed 1 or fewer runs 28 times this season. And that's tied for first in Major League Baseball with Detroit, surprisingly. Man. I mean, Tarek Skubal hasn't pitched 28 games, so maybe he has. I don't know, but I don't know how the Tigers are doing. I mean, Casey Mize is a good pitcher, too. He's an all-star, although shouldn't have been over Nathan Eovaldi, but, whatever. But I don't think they've gotten that much out of Flaherty this year. They don't have the depth of pitching as good as they started this season, they don't have the depth of pitching that this Rangers team does. Nobody wants to see this Rangers team get hot like they are.
Yeah.
Nobody in the American League anyway, because you get to a playoff series and you've got, Jacob deGrom and Nathan Eovaldi in a short playoff series especially, that may be all you need. And those two guys are going to be extremely tough to beat. So it's great timing for the Rangers. Eovaldi will be back. We told you this last night. He's planning on making the start tomorrow. He feels great, and he feels like they were exercising an abundance of caution to skip a start and give him a little more time. And look, that's also something that will pay a dividend at the end of the year if we are talking about an October run.
Right, and it's the Atlanta Braves. I think if there were a series that you can err on the side of caution, maybe it's this one. You don't have to waste the bullets if you don't need to, especially with the previous series with the Oakland Athletics. Credit where credit is due. Every club is, in Major League Baseball, professional athletes. But if you don't have to play Nathan Eovaldi, are you going to? Probably not. Patrick Corbin stepped in and did the job pretty well, in my opinion.
Ridiculously well. He's been unbelievable in all season. The last two starts have been silly good. It's great to see what Patrick Corbin has done. He allowed 5 hits in the game last night, but 3 of them were back-to-back-to-back. One of them an infield hit that drove him out of the game in the 6th inning. But, Patrick Corbin more than did his job last night, allowing only 1 run. And then the bullpen closed that door. Now, yes, the Rangers need a closer. They know that. You know that. Justin, I see you're asking how much would David Bednar cost with at least a year of control. A lot, prospect-wise, not a lot money-wise. They could afford a David Bednar right now, but the prospect price goes up when the years of control are still available, right? So someone like a Felix Bautista we see today goes on the injured list for Baltimore. He's got 2 years of control left. First of all, I don't think Baltimore really would have traded him, but the prospect price for a guy with 2 years of control left and only making only 500,000 left this year, yeah, that prospect price would have been steep. So, all those things are considerations as they approach the trade deadline, and those are all things that Chris Young just eats, breathes, and sleeps as a former major league pitcher. He knows all of this, and my favorite thing, I'll never forget this, when the Rangers signed DeGrom, and I was doing a show with Mark McLemore and Bally at the time to do the introductory press conference for Jacob deGrom. And I said, Mac, the guy's been hurt for a few years. I mean, he's been off and on injured. Why are you so sure that he's going to be great here? Mm-hmm. And Mac said, because Chris Young is.
Yeah.
He said, Chris Young knows what he's doing. Now, nobody can predict that he was going to blow out his elbow. I mean, he had to have Tommy John surgery. But look how good Jacob deGrom has been since. And that is what Chris Young, he is like a scientist on it. He's a guy with experience looking at all the same things that we look at, all the analytics, everything else. But the way his eyeball sees things, having pitched for as long as he did, more than a decade, he sees it differently.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the business side of it first and foremost because it is a business, but then he also sees the player side of it. He also understands what he can ask of his players, and I think that's what makes him such a great GM because he knows what he asks. He's probably done it as a player, and I think to that point, I think the players can go to him and be a bit more truthful. And
Sure.
He probably had a very honest conversation with Jacob. How long do you want to play in Major League Baseball? What do you have left in you? And those conversations are going to go different when it's pitcher to pitcher rather than pitcher to $,
100%. Or pitcher to a guy who's never pitched or never played. And
Exactly.
I think it gives the Rangers
and looks at a spreadsheet.
Yeah, and I think it gives the Rangers a huge advantage when they are recruiting free agents, but also when they are analyzing who is available on the trade market. There's not a lot in the Rangers farm system that's sort of high profile that they're willing to trade right now. So the reality is, I think they're probably going for one of the rental guys out there. And it probably makes the most sense. So, more of that will come as we talk about this trade deadline that is fast approaching now. But they're definitely in the market right now, as of today, where we sit, for a closer. They know they need it, and I got a feeling they'll get one. More coming up as we talk about this weekend. It's going to be really fun for lots of players, lots of baseball fans. It's Hall of Fame weekend. We're going to talk about that. And remember the old saying, speed kills? Rangers proved it again last night. Other teams, too. We'll talk about that next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And it's time for you to figure out what the heck you're going to do with all this money you're making, right? Don't waste it. Don't let it just kind of fritter away. Don't go out to eat so many times that you're like, where did we go? Where'd all our money go, right? Figure out how to do it. Manage it. And if you go to Monarch Money, they will help you manage it. And they've been rated by the Wall Street Journal and others as the best money manager app in the country in 2025, right? So 2.5 million people are using this thing. It's a fantastic app. It's going to help you, and their goal is not just to manage your money, but then once you've managed it, and all of a sudden you go, wow, I got a little extra money here. They'll help that money grow. They'll help you make money. They want you to grow your wealth. They want you to be as successful as you want to be. If you go to monarchmoney.com and use the code DLLS, you will get 6 months for free. That's half off for the first year at Monarch Money.
While you're saving your money, you can splurge on a neon sign. Neon signs are fun. I think they add a lot of personality to a room. And our friends at Saturday Neon have you covered. It was started by two college buddies. They wanted to make Saturday Neon officially licensed with LED signs for your favorite college teams. You can decorate your home, your office, your dorm room, your man cave, or your bar. Check out the new Essential Collection featuring almost 50 of the biggest schools across the country. You can check out Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Of course, they have plenty more. Unlike traditional neons, these LED lights won't break or shatter, but they still give you that classic glow that you love. They last up to 100,000 hours.
Wow.
So you'll be enjoying your sign for years to come. So it's an easy install. They provide the hardware and low voltage, so they don't get hot, and they are always safe. So it's a win-win-win. Use the code DLLS for 10% off on your favorite sign on SaturdayNeon.com.
All right, so it's Hall of Fame weekend. It's a really cool class. The first Japanese player, first player born in Japan will go into the Hall of Fame. Certainly not the last, but Ichiro goes into the Hall of Fame, and he's an amazing. Obviously, he was an amazing player in Japan. He was an amazing player here, and he's still amazing out there, just doing so many works of charity and just helping and being fun and funny and enjoying his retirement in such a huge way. I think it's a great headliner for this Hall of Fame class. There's no doubt about that. But another headliner is CC Sabathia, who was, he was that big body type, right? He was as large a personality as he was a person.
He's a teddy bear, though.
Oh, absolutely. Friendly, happy, loved his teammates and helped his teammates. And in fact, you had a chance to talk to one of his former teammates.
I did. Nathan Eovaldi. I talked to him earlier this season just on where that leadership came from. I don't think it's something that you just naturally have. I think it's something that a great baseball player passed down to you. Now you're passing down to others. He said he had a long list, but one of them was CC Sabathia. So I talked to CC during All-Star Week and just talked about what Nathan Eovaldi could mean to a club. He called him the perfect pitcher for an organization to have because he's a leader, and not only by example, but just the conversations that he has. I mean, I think for young players, not named Jack Leiter that grew up in the big leagues with a professional baseball playing dad, but for younger guys like Kamar Rocker, Kamar's a pretty shy, timid guy. You know, Nathan Eovaldi goes up, strikes a conversation, sits down at his locker next to him. Hey, I was looking through these charts. So that you had to kind of be taught that. He learned that from CC, and so I asked Nathan Eovaldi what he thought on CC getting the call to the Hall.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it means a lot to me. Cece is one of my all-time favorite players that I was able to play with, and teammates, he's top-notch. Everything he does, it's for the team. Everything he does is going out there on the mound and stuff. So for him to say those things about me, it means a lot to me.
When you think about the Hall of Fame player that he is, what sticks out to you most?
I just remember the way that he was out there on the mound attacking. I mean, he was always prepared, ready to go out there for the games, and he's going to leave it all out there on the field. And to me, there was no doubt that he would make the Hall of Fame. Everything that he was able to accomplish in his resume, and again, the teammate that he is in the clubhouse and the guy he is on and off the field, it's incredible.
I shared with him, the team player that you kind of are and how you're taking this roster kind of under your own wing and, creating that team chemistry element and also sort of a pitching coach role.
Mm-hmm.
How much did he play into that part of it?
I mean, a lot of that stuff, it's the stuff that we learn along the way, right? And from him, he's one of the big ones that I learned a lot from, and being able to, kind of follow in his footsteps. It means a lot to me for everything that he was able to do for us, and, just try to learn from the best along the way. Yep.
That was Luke Jackson singing Alicia Keys in the back. So before a few roster moves. But, man, CC, what a force to be reckoned with. 6'6", 300 pounds coming at you.
Yeah.
That's scary. No, it's a really great class. And a really cool thing about Ichiro is you mentioned the word retired. Is he, though? Because he's always in a baseball uniform.
He is.
And you love to see it,
Yeah.
when that's how you know how much the game of baseball meant to him. It wasn't a job. It's truthfully his life. And it's a really fun and nostalgic class and well-deserved.
Yeah, I'll say this, too. The other, modern era player going into the Hall this weekend is Billy Wagner. Billy the Kid, who, of course, was the 5'9" lefty reliever. In fact, he's the first left-handed reliever to go into the Hall of Fame. 5'9", opposite of CC.
I was about to say,
right?
stark
Opposite
difference.
of CC Sabathia, and he threw 100 from the left side, and it was nasty. And little did we know until we were looking around a little bit today at his story, and Abs confirmed this for us. If it weren't for one Todd Jones getting hurt, Billy Wagner may have never been a relief pitcher.
Yeah, baseball's a silly game. You kind of, as a player, prey on your friend's downfall. And I say that in the most respectful way because somebody had to get hurt for my dad to get called up. So it's a little bit weird that, it's at the expense of somebody. But now he's a Hall of Fame player. I told my dad, don't feel too bad about it because, eventually Billy became who he is. And then that made him disposable for the Astros. And I'm like,
I think that
don't feel too bad about it because he's going in the Hall of Fame.
No, and I think that players come to terms with the fact that, the cream rises, right? Billy Wagner was going to figure out a way. Now, whether he had been a starting pitcher or a relief pitcher, it was coincidental that your dad was there as a relief pitcher and got hurt, and they said, we got no other options right now. Let's
take
try
this
Wagner.
Lefty that throws 100.
Yeah, let's try Wagner. And it works out pretty well. And that's the reality is, right, that is exactly what's kind of happening. Necessity, mother of invention. It's what's happening with John Gray right now, right? The Rangers don't need him as a starting pitcher. He's back. He's healthy. They're going to use him in the bullpen. He is so excited about the opportunity to use that wipeout slider and the fastball, and that's it. He doesn't have to put together a plan of how to massage the roster three times and throw people different, set them up one way and throw them different the next time you face them, and then different again the third time. Just go in there and throw, or shoot your best bullets. And that part of being a relief pitcher absolutely is thrilling to John Gray.
Yeah, he's had a great attitude about it. I think if you look at, he calls it a rubber band arm. If you look at extending your career to max potential, it's probably in that relief, opportunity. I want to circle back on Billy Wagner, though, because an interesting element of this is that his son, Will Wagner, is playing for Toronto against the Tigers this weekend. So Sunday, your dad's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and you're playing. I'd imagine he's playing, and they're not going to send him to Cooperstown.
No chance.
But your dad's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then you're playing a baseball game for Major League Baseball. I mean, that's a pretty
cool.
I think you win at life
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool sidebar. So, and then the others that are going into the Hall of Fame this weekend as elected by the Classic Era Committee, our Classic Baseball Era Committee, are Dick Allen and Dave Parker. And overdue for Dave. We mentioned it earlier in the week. He's passed away recently from Parkinson's or effects of Parkinson's. And so he's had a speech ready for 15 years. And his son, David, will read it. So that makes me sad. Yeah, I hate that Dave Parker didn't get, and he knew he was going in. He lived that long, but he didn't get to go experience the joy and the beauty of Hall of Fame weekend. Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown, New York is just unbelievable. The weather, of course, it can rain, and it can get hot there too, but the weather is typically just fantastic. Yeah. And that little idyllic town, this little slice of Americana, old-time town. I've been there 4 times, I think, and it never disappointed.
It matches what baseball is, America's pastime.
Yeah.
I mean, it depicts that so well.
And that museum is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Yes, Ryan. I covered Pudge going in.
Nolan.
Yep. I covered Nolan going in. I covered Eric Nadel when he won the Ford Frick Award. I guess that's it. And I was thinking because they had a plan at Bally last year for me to go cover Adrian.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they pulled the plug on all the money.
I was about to say.
So how'd that work out? Yeah, they had us all. They had booked the house. They had maybe they hadn't quite booked the flights yet, but we did. We had such a great trip, and actually, humble brag, we won an Emmy for our Pudge coverage. So we were so excited. Yeah. We kind of got the band back together. We were excited to go back for Adrian last year, but
man, if you win an Emmy, I think you just kind of find the money somewhere,
wouldn't you?
Also a nod to first time on the ballot, Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, yeah, Kins.
Maybe not, but
no, I don't think he'll be back. I don't think he got the necessary votes to be on the ballot. So it's too bad. But
it, I've had this discussion with my dad about it. I think even the mention and the consideration is such an honor, because the Hall of Fame's no joke. And I know players are very sensitive to the word. And if you do not belong there, they don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So I think even just the mention is something that Ian Kinsler is very proud of.
And should be. Really. Yeah, absolutely should be. And Kins did so much that he is absolutely worthy of being considered, but
it's the best of the best for a reason,
right? It's in a very, very exclusive club. So, but anyway, it's a really fun weekend. I did see. I think we should mention because I mentioned Eric already. The Ford Frick and the Writer Award is Thomas Boswell and Tom Hamilton. Will get the Ford Frick Award. There's a BBWA Career Excellence Award, and then there's the Ford Frick Award too for the best announcer. So that's really fun. It's a fun weekend. If you've never been, go. And it's really crowded on the weekend of the induction.
Yeah.
So if you just want to enjoy the museum, which is fantastic, go when it's not induction weekend. But I guess we don't have anybody eligible or like on the verge of eligible like we did Adrian. But if you can ever go on the weekend that a Rangers, former Rangers getting inducted.
I was going to ask, who do you think is going to be the next one?
It could be Could be DeGrom, right? He'll retire.
He wouldn't go in as a Ranger, though.
Oh, I don't know. He might.
Really?
Might go in as a Met,
Chat,
but
what do you think?
I think he would go in as a Ranger. Nelson Cruz probably is not. And it'd be interesting to see if he went in as a Ranger, right? He did damage here. He got his start here, but he did hit all those home runs elsewhere, you know? Yeah, no, but Nelly's not a Hall of Famer. And I know there'd be a lot of Rangers fans who wouldn't even want to hear about that, given what happened in Game 6. So anyway, Hall of Fame weekend. Very cool. We got more coming up. We're going to get to that Rangers speed story because in baseball, speed is a huge factor. It's becoming bigger and bigger, and it played out last night right before our very eyes. It's next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Oh, where are we here? Oh, we're talking about branded bills.
Hats. Yeah.
We are talking about those fantastic hats that you can get from Branded Bills. It's simple to get them, whether you need those snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees, or anything else. Branded Bill has you covered with performance and with style. You want to make something stand apart from the crowd, you personalize it, and that's what Branded Bills does for you. It's the best custom headwear, and you start your design, and then their dedicated team helps you kind of create the exact custom apparel that you need. It's a very personalized service. They have a partnership with 40 colleges and universities, a little bit like our friends at Saturday Neon. That's their campus collection. TCU's in there, Texas Tech's in there, Texas is in there. Head to brandedbills.com. Use the code BBDLLS to get 15% off your first order at Branded Bills.
And Rads was going to bring his fedora.
I forgot my fedora. Next week. I'll bring it.
So, speaking of triple digits with a fastball, guess what it's also triple digits in?
Temperature.
It is hot.
I don't think we've had them yet, though, have we, officially?
My car says it. And
okay.
You know what? I believe it. So, It's 100 degrees plus, and we're off today. We're off today because the Rangers are off today. Technically, we're off tomorrow, too. So, Rads, we got more than 24 hours to kill some time.
Yeah, I believe I got a little beer drinking to do is what you're telling me.
I think you need a Rugged Road cooler because you want cold beer.
Yeah, I am a cold beer guy. I want the colder, the better.
And Rugged Road will keep it cold for quite some time.
7 days.
7 days?
Yeah.
That's insane. It's also floatable if you happen to take it on the lake. I need a lake day around here, but I don't know where the good lakes are. But if there were, floatable, lightweight design, durable and dependable, and versatile. So you can take it fishing, tubing, camping, tailgating, or hey, you can just set it in your man cave if you don't want to get up over this off day. Use the code DLLS for 10% off ruggedroadoutdoors.com.
Yeah, you kind of see how that could work with the Rugged Road right here, don't you? You know, you got the cooler sitting right here. Just open it up and reach in for another. You see what I'm saying? So,
Smarter, not harder.
That would be good for the man cave right there. Okay, so yeah, you're talking about it already in the chat. I tweeted about it last night after it happened. Wyatt Langford is very fast, but last night's game-changing play is all about baseball IQ and all-out hustle. And that's what I was tweeting about was hustle. And then I saw I put good old-fashioned hustle. And that was what Boat said after the game. That's just all-out hustle, right? That is the kind of play that changes games, as it did last night, and maybe, just maybe, changes seasons. There's always that game you look back on, right, in a season, in a good season, and you go, oh, man, that one was it, right? Who knows if this will be it? I don't know if there has been one yet that I would say for sure is it. So there's plenty of candidates, no doubt. But that play last night, man, had us up off our seat. It was so great. You know, even Mike Bassick on the broadcast said, what made him think on a pop-up to the shortstop that he should get on his horse and go? And that's
Tony
That's
Beasley,
just-
windmill.
Yeah, that's just the way Wyatt Langford thinks. That's just the way Wyatt Langford plays the game. And he walked, he's on first base. He walked, and he used his speed to score the winning run in this game on a pop-up that fell between the shortstop and the left fielder because of miscommunication out there. That kind of thing is just fantastic. Last night in the Blue Jays game, there was a very similar thing where George Springer is on first base for the Blue Jays, and they're playing the Yankees, and they're trying to win the series. They need a win in the series, and his buddy Vlad Guerrero Jr. comes up, and he hits one to the wall, to the corner, and, again, George Springer's like, it's still not easy to score from first,
Right.
No matter where the ball
No
was
matter
hit.
where.
And he said, they had a quote, he's running around third base, like screaming, but smiling and fired up. And then same thing with Wyatt, head first slide in there and just beat the throw. Those are the kind of
he had a
momentum
great slide,
plays,
too.
right, that help a team not only win, but, have some momentum, have some fire.
Yeah.
Right. And so anyway, I just love speed on a baseball field. And the reality is, Abs, I've been to, back in the day when I was working at Channel 5, I'd go to the Cincinnati Reds, among other teams, always had a tryout at various high schools. So they'd be there in January, I think.
I would love to
usually.
take popcorn
And they
watch that.
they go have a tryout, and everybody, of course, comes. They're all former high school players or current high school players, and they've got their glove and their bat and their everything, and they're good to go. And the scouts who are kind of running this thing say, all right, put all your baseball gear down and come over here. And they take them out in the outfield, and they just start timing them. You don't even get to touch a glove. It's speed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're looking for. If you don't have whatever their maxim is, or didn't, I don't think they do this anymore. But in those days, if you didn't have their maxim, whatever your 40 time was, if that's what they were looking at, or 30 time, okay, thanks for
you're
being
cut.
here. Yeah,
Mhm.
take your glove and your bat and go on home, have fun, go play in the sandlot. So speed's huge, I think, is the whole point. It's
Old
like,
school baseball.
yeah.
And that's something you can't really teach. And also, you have to really have a lot of confidence in yourself to do that. That's, I think, what I like most about it, is Wyatt Langford believed he could do it. I think there's a handful of players that wouldn't even try because they know they're not going to get it. Wyatt Langford, though, I believe that is the most enthusiastic I have seen him. After he hit for the cycle, he might have smiled a bit.
Yeah.
His first home run, I'm sure, since it took some time maybe, but that is the most enthusiastic I've seen him. And then that led me to draw the conclusion, he's kind of like Corey Seager. Very stoic, doesn't show a ton of emotion. But that one moment, like that one photo of Seager in the World Series, everyone can hear that. And it's the best photo because it never happens, Not that Seager doesn't do amazing things. It's just he doesn't react to his amazing things.
And the players said it. It's not just our observation.
Right.
The players said when Corey Seager acts like that, that fires everybody.
And Wyatt Langford, I think the same, You see that big smile, momentum carries into it.
Yeah. So you did a little deep dive on some of the speed on this team. Now, the fastest player in the league right now is Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah. 30.3 feet per second.
Okay. That's hard to measure or imagine, but that's fast. Let's just put it that way. It's very fast.
It's very fast. But the second place isn't far behind. We're talking about a millisecond of a millisecond in comparison. But you might be shocked with who the fastest Ranger is.
Yeah, I was.
Chat, if you have any guesses before I say it, I'm going to give you like a few seconds.
Yeah, and again, it's when you think about it, it's kind of
Active
usual
Ranger.
subjects. But I think the point you made last night, which I thought was good, usual suspects usually don't include someone built like a fullback, like Wyatt Langford
you mean
is.
like 6 foot tall and 225
Yeah,
pounds?
he's a fire
That's a
plug.
lot. That's a lot of weight to
and
move.
has that kind of speed. So we're not seeing any guesses. So the fastest on the team.
Sam Haggerty.
Yeah, not surprised.
29 feet per second. And then Wyatt Langford next at 28.9. Then it goes Evan Carter and Ezekiel Duran and Alejandro Osuna. Any guesses on the slowest?
Yeah, I think we all know it's Rowdy.
Rowdy Tellez.
Rowdy Tellez. But and again, so the Reds did this whole thing about speed. It's got to be speed. It's got to be speed. Can you make a career in baseball if you don't meet that maxim? Well, I would suggest to you, and I don't know this, but Corey Seager probably didn't. Probably
low
wouldn't
on the
have,
list.
right?
Low
and
on the
he's
list.
like fourth worst on the Rangers
on
team.
the Rangers.
Again.
Jake Berger, significantly faster than Corey Seager.
Is he?
Wrap your head around that.
Yeah. So the reality is, like, yeah, that's what everybody's looking for. But if you can do all these other things, you know, CC Sabathia is going into the Hall of Fame. I don't reckon he ever could have beaten that standard that the Cincinnati Reds were looking for, right? So it's not the only thing, but it's certainly a way people were weeded out and are weeded out all the time in all sports, right? You need and want that speed in all sports. And so anyway, pretty cool because the Rangers have it. And that kind of speed, Haggerty, we've seen it. Mm-hmm. Haggerty's, done some amazing things on the base paths. There was another game, one of those that might be the game, was when I think Haggerty walked. He stole second. On the next pitch, he stole third. And then he came home on like a ground out, I mean, they won. Those kinds of games are just fantastic.
He's got like almost 50 pounds less than Wyatt.
Who, Haggerty does?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
He looks like, and by the way,
he's
he's about to come back too. The ankle is feeling better, and we should see him back playing baseball again.
Oh, when I talked to him, he said he was anticipating Friday.
There
but Sam is the oldest on the list. He's 31. So everyone else on that list is like low 20s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So quick question in there. Could John Gray be the closer? He'd certainly be an option, James, but I think they're thinking of him more as the setup guy, especially in the short term with Chris Martin on the shelf, possibly until the 1st of September. So that's where I think they're going to put Gray for now. Could he evolve into a closer having done that? Yeah, I think he could, depending on the results and depending on, if he has that mindset, right? He's only pitched out of the bullpen now 8 times, John Gray. I thought it was a lot more in 2023 than it was. 4 in the regular season, 3 in the postseason. That's it. And he showed all of us enough in those 7 outings during the 2023 season to go, whoa, John Gray could be a bullpen guy. So, yeah, I think there is tremendous upside, even closer type upside for John Gray. But you have to remember this, too. Is he willing to make the long-term investment into that position? Because he's a starting pitcher and they make a heck of a lot more money than closers do. And if he had a big body of work as a closer, he could possibly get, the Hader $19 million. But for the most part, closers don't get anywhere near the money that starting pitchers do. So it's a really good question. Yeah, it's a good question.
So. But also, we were kind of having this discussion before he even got injured during the offseason. You know? I mean, this was like one of our favorite topics. Where's John Gray going to go? Because the starting rotation is so good. And because if there's anybody that can make the switch, I think it can be John Gray.
Yeah, because of his stuff, right? Because he admittedly has a rubber arm. Now, I'll say this. They're going to be careful with him in the start here because he's never thrown on back-to-back days. So, in those starts, those appearances in the World Series, there was always time between him because of the playoff schedule. So he's got to figure that out, right? He's learning on the fly. But when you have that stuff and that mentality, and like we say, he said it, rubber arm, hey, you got a pretty good shot at doing this thing. So anyway, those are some of the things. We want to get to our cleanup segment coming up next. And there's a lot of things to talk about that are fun and exciting as baseball heads towards Hall of Fame weekend. That's next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. All right, don't forget, we said it at the top. We'll say it again now. $36 to become a diehard. It's our training camp special. The Cowboys are fully ensconced in training camp. We've got Clarence Hill there. The entire Cowboys crew is headed to training camp for a week, so you'll enjoy their coverage from there. I know you've enjoyed Chill from there. Pop's doing a great job. I saw somebody's video on social media of the skirmish that broke out on the sideline. But did you see, like, somebody's there shooting it, and it looked to me like Clarence was actually in the middle of it, and he was in front of the camera I saw, and he pulls up his phone and he starts shooting, and he had a better angle. So pretty amazing coverage you're getting from all of our guys, and Clarence, of course, is writing a bunch too, not just videotaping fights at Cowboys training camp. But $36, $3 a month. You can get a free T-shirt off of the deal. Those are $35, and so basically for $36, that means you've become a diehard and gotten access to all of this content for $1. That seem like a good deal to you, Ebs?
I mean, you can only get a hot dog on a Wednesday,
right,
for $1 at Globe Life Field.
Right. You really ought to buy diehard memberships for everybody in the family at this price. So we hope you will. We'd appreciate it if you did. And avail yourself to the shirts. We've got tons of cool ones out there. And for every team, I'm partial to the Nolan Ryan punching Robin Ventura in the head. We've got that one recently released. There's a Texas versus y'all.
You got the horseshoe today?
Yeah, they got the horseshoe working today. This is one of my OGs.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's the Dallas skyline with a horseshoe and DLLS. It's pretty appropriate.
Jeff takes the cake. He's got like 20 now.
Yeah, he's got a
He
million.
still wants a hat, though.
Well, we're going to try to get hats.
Be on the way.
Yeah, we're going to try to get hats as soon as possible. So I know they're working on that. So in the cleanup segment, nice to see you, Darvish, back on the mound for the Padres. He's had his injury woes this season. Another guy that's just getting unbelievably, long in the tooth. I don't want to say old. Long in the tooth. His career it seems to have flown by, but Yu Darvish is back. He's ready to go. He's ready to roll, and he's a guy around here. I always liked him. I think fans liked him. He gave us something at the time that he was here that was so unique. The number of pitches that guy could throw, the crazy things he could do with the baseball. He was a good one.
Yeah. But with Yu Darvish, did you know that he was kind of thinking about retiring because of the injury?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean,
no. And he may still after this season, or who knows what. It would be too bad, but because I think he's still a really, really good pitcher when he's healthy.
I respect calling it when you see fit. I think there's a few other players.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Verlander and Scherzer again. Yeah.
Mean,
and I forgot.
No one to hold him, no one to fold him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go out on the top when you can.
Yeah.
If you can.
That's the thing. So anyway, that's good news. Did you see this Azzy Fudd first pitch? You know who Azzy is?
I did not see this pitch.
She's the Connecticut player who threw a first pitch at a Nationals game. She's from Washington, D.C. She threw the first pitch at a Nationals game, and she threw it to her prom date from 2021.
On purpose?
Who is James Wood. Azzy Fudd and James Wood went to the same high school in Washington, D.C., and went to the prom together in 2021.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Talked to him at the All-Star game.
Did you?
Yeah. First time All-Star.
Yeah.
He's going to be fun to watch. But.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has a better first pitch than Clay.
No. What's that? Do you know her local tie? I do. Azzy has, I think it's become known, right, that she is the girlfriend of Paige Beckers. Yeah. So I guess she's not going to any more proms with James Wood on that deal.
With
But
James Wood.
she's but she's a delightful young gal and a great player. And they were, of course, both teammates at those Connecticut teams that were so dominant. So but that's good. See, Orion thought he could stump me on that deal, but I had the gossip down there too,
He
right?
stays
The tea.
plugged in.
I'll spill some tea.
Hey, I
on
got
you.
one for you.
Yeah.
Topps announced that they've partnered with the estate of Bob Ross to create special MLB trading cards. So they're calling that the Joy of Baseball, and it releases July 31st. And it's like Paul Skeens with a very scenic background.
Who's Ross?
Bob Ross.
Who is he?
You don't know who Bob Ross is?
Not positive. The what?
You don't know. He literally started like YouTube tutorials.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't think I know Bob Ross.
It's
What
like,
am I
it's
missing?
It's like a top tier Halloween costume.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
I'm
figure
Googling
out.
it for it. Rads. You don't know this guy?
Who the hell? What does he do?
He's a very famous painter.
Oh, painter. I don't pay attention to painters.
on PBS and he would.
Could I get him to paint the house?
No, he did like landscape and stuff.
Oh my lord. Well, first of all, rest in peace, Bob Ross.
Oh, he's dead too. God Almighty!
Wow. Rads.
I don't pay attention to painters. I pay attention.
You don't
to
know
sport.
Picasso?
Yeah, I kind of know who. Yeah. Because what's his name
Oh.
sang about him,
Oh my.
right? No, that was Van Gogh.
We might.
No, that was Van Gogh. I know about
This
Van Gogh because Don
conversation
McLean
is getting.
sang about.
Where is Miss Kathy? Because I'm calling her.
Oh, and she's an art history
You-
gal. I can't
you
imagine.
talk about-
I think that Bob Ross, is he the guy you'd see on the cable access shows doing little paintings?
Oh, you just got called out. Has all the tea, but doesn't know who Bob Ross is. Mm.
Yeah, I do have tea though. I don't know Bob Ross. I don't know.
I'm really calling Miss Kathy.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Rad's showing his age, but the thing is like I wouldn't know who Bob Ross is. You know, because
Right, he's more. It seems like that would be a guy more in my wheelhouse, age-wise.
Wow.
If I paid attention to painting, which I don't. Sue me. I did go to a play. I went to the theater.
I'm
cultured.
I'm gonna send you the YouTube video. They're very therapeutic. He teaches you how to paint trees and landscapes.
See, that's what I thought he was. He had like a cable access show. PBS.
Wow.
I'd fly by that thing and go, "Are you kidding me?"
You learn something new every day.
Good God. Hey, Owen, do you know who Bob Ross is? Oh, yeah, he does.
Said,
All right.
Owen said the painter.
Yeah, I know it, but I never heard of him. I mean, the only thing I
Right.
ever saw was on the PBS. I'd fly by there, and I'd see him doing a paint-by-number thing, and I'm like, I don't need to learn. Yeah, no, I don't need therapy like that. I'm not even sad. Right, and Abby knows too.
We're learning a lot here.
Abby knows too. I'd never heard of the guy.
I'm cultured.
Anyway, apparently he's doing some baseball cards now. Well, he's not, but yeah, he's not. But anyway, so there you go. I mean,
I have
yay,
no comment.
PB. I do feel bad for PBS. I saw that story the other day. They're losing $2.7 million right off the bat, so that's too bad. But all right, let's talk about Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, that was cool.
Did you see that? Kids
did.
set up a lemonade stand in Wrigleyville. They were
Because-
trying to raise enough money so that they could afford to get a PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, haircut. Remember, he bleached his hair and then he had stars all over
It's
it.
a little Dennis Rodman vibe.
It is.
I love it.
I do too. I think that's so cute. So, and then to these kids' shock, awe, surprise, Pete showed up.
Yeah.
And of course, he gave them enough money that he paid for their haircuts. So pretty cool.
That's
They
cool.
could have cared less about the haircuts at that point. They got to
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
Pete Crow Armstrong. For
But
goodness
now,
sake.
I mean, how long are they going to have this haircut? You
Yeah.
know? But it's cool. Like, there's just so many cool stories about what players can do on an off day. I mean, basketball related, but Wemby goes and plays chess when he's in New York, and he just goes and sits. Like he's like anybody that wants to come play.
Oh, you mean like in a park, that kind of
like
thing?
Central Park.
Yeah,
he
that's
goes
so
and plays
cool.
chess.
That's a really cool thing.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that players do that, and it's something the kids are going to remember forever. But PCA is a cool guy. He's good for the game of baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
He's swaggy.
Yep, I agree. Did you see the Riley Wheaton Paul Skeens story? Riley is a Make-A-Wish young man and a really, really good pitcher. And then he was doing great. He's 10 years old. He was doing great through Little League. And then he got this rare heart condition. And then, they had to care flight him, and it morphed into a cancer. But now the cancer's in remission. And Riley was able to go back to pitching again. And in his first outing back, Riley struck out 10. I mean, he's a good pitcher. Good for him. He's in remission. He got back on the field. Well, and then the Make-A-Wish people came through, and I love that organization so much. And he made had an opportunity to go. He's a Pirates fan, to go to, maybe the best ballpark in baseball. And there we are. And meet maybe the best pitcher in baseball, ultimately, maybe the best ever. And anyway, there you go. There's Riley with his family. Paul Skeens played catch with him. Paul was really impressed with his
He said that his hand was sore.
Yeah.
Paul did.
Yeah. Look at the kid. I think he's like really good. And so we'll pray that the remission stays. And let's see how that turns out for Riley Wheaton. But I love so much when a baseball player is humble and down to earth enough to walk up to a lemonade stand and give them the money and meet those kids. It doesn't hurt anybody. It only helps them and makes them feel awesome. Or, when Paul Skeens,
this one
goes
trumps
above
the lemonade
and beyond.
a million.
With the young man. He took the family through the entire clubhouse. He introduced them to teammates. It wasn't just one of those things. What am I supposed to do? Okay, I'll go say hi to the kid.
No, it's
he embraced it. He embraced the opportunity.
This is cool too. So the kids, Riley's nickname is Goat, and that stands for greatest of all time. So his buddy nicknamed him Mini Goat after he got him a little trophy when he was in the hospital, but he also said it has a dual meaning, and it means God over all things. And that's truly what's gotten him to where he is at. So that's just cool.
Yeah. No, and I just noticed that your dad's in the chat, and I imagine he's probably with me. He doesn't know who this freaking Bob Ross is.
He does know who Bob Ross is. He said it's like saying Mr. Rogers had a little cable access.
Oh, is that him? Yeah. Well, he did. Yeah.
Okay, I love Mr. Rogers. He's
I did too. And in fact, I'll tell you this.
Very special part of my childhood.
I saw the Mr. Rogers documentary, and I was so impressed because he is he was a champion for racial supremacy, and in a time when civil rights were so important. And by the way, if I may, right now, say I'm not cultured because I don't know Bob Ross, I'm watching the Ed Sullivan documentary. And I didn't realize that Really Big Show Ed Sullivan was also the same thing, man. He was putting African-American groups on TV when nobody would even consider it. And advertisers are pulling their money and stuff. So I like both those guys. I'm a big fan
of what do you
Mr. Rogers. And I don't know. I'm not mad at Bob Ross. I don't know what he did for our civil rights, but I'm just saying I never knew who the hell he was. And I looked like a boring TV show to me, so I didn't stop. That's all I'm saying.
Clearly didn't need a little peaceful ambiance in your life.
No, I didn't need that. I'm go. And last thing, speaking of players who do so much for their community, the Hub City Spartanburgers have retired a number, and it is the number 21 with Berger's name on it, Jake Berger's name on it, which is so fantastic. He did not come up through this organization, right? He did, but he didn't play there. But they retired his number. for the benefit of why Jake Berger wears the number 21, which is to bring awareness to those who have the 21st chromosome, the extra 21st chromosome, and that is the kids who have Down syndrome. I had a long conversation with Jake about that in the clubhouse the other day. We'll talk about it at greater length in another show. But anyway, I just love that they did that. And Ashlyn, his wife, was online, on one of the socials talking about it. So fantastic.
They're a really cool family. I have a friend that her husband played with Jake at another team, and she was just kind of messaging me like, you guys are getting one of the best, rare, like truly good people in baseball. It's like a diamond in or a needle in a haystack kind of thing.
Yeah, as opposed to hearing the opposite so often.
Yeah,
about
I mean, they were like, you're
this
really
George
getting...
Pickens, he's a bad guy, or whoever. Yeah,
Which,
so yeah.
He's on the come up.
Anyway, man, it's been fun, Abs. I appreciate having you fill in for Jeff this week.
I'm going to bring you some Bob Ross.
Great. Yeah, bring me a Bob Ross video or something. And the next time you see me, I'll try to remember the fedora. And thanks to all of you for hanging out with us. We're going to be back. Jeff will be with us on Sunday as we wrap up this series against the Atlanta Braves. Can we continue this hot streak? Let's find out. We'll see you Sunday on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.